Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Liana Magra, and here are the top headlines of the day in Greece. Greek political leaders have been having an extremely heated debate on the Tempe train crash in Parliament today, ahead of another wave of nationwide protests set to take place later this afternoon. Earlier this morning, Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis declared the government's commitment to truth and justice. He said that last week's report on the accident and its aftermath debunked the cover-up narrative supported by the opposition. The Prime Minister added, however, that the government has failed to convince the Greek society that the restructuring of the railway sector was their first priority. The Greek Premier also said that it is a lie that the government has been trying to delay the trial and that only justice can shed light on this case. The leader of the opposition and president of PASOK, Nikos Androulakis, accused the Prime Minister of lying and of spreading fake news in Parliament. Mr. Androulakis repeated from the podium that the opposition will table a motion of no confidence against the government later today. The Tempe crime will not be covered up. The Greek people will not allow it, Sokratis Famelos, the president of Syriza, said during his speech. At the same time, lawmakers decided late last night to set up a preliminary investigation committee that will decide whether Christos Triantopoulos, who at the time of the crash was the Deputy Climate Crisis and Civil Protection Minister, breached his duty. Yesterday, Mr. Triantopoulos, who has consistently denied any wrongdoing, resigned from his post. Now, during an interview with Fox News, Greek Foreign Minister George Gerapetritis said yesterday that Europe must focus on a future that includes Ukraine. We need the support of the US. It's important that the US stays involved, but of course Europe should be the main stakeholder, he added, and explained that Greece has supported the enhancement of security mechanisms within the EU. We must move towards a collective defense in Europe, the Greek minister emphasized. In other news, the European Public Prosecutor's Office in Athens announced today that it has filed indictments against 100 individuals suspected of fraud involving agricultural funds. The estimated damage to the European Union's budget amounts to 2.9 million euros. According to the investigation, the suspects submitted false ownership declarations or falsified lease contracts for plots of land that they did not actually own or lease. What is more, most of the suspects lived in different regions than those they had declared in their applications. If found guilty, the suspects will be fined and face up to 5 years in prison. Greece's Supreme Court ordered the release of Israeli mining magnate Benny Steinmetz earlier today. The decision comes despite a lower court's ruling for his extradition to Romania based on an arrest warrant, according to media reports. The arrest warrant against Mr. Steinmetz relates to an old case involving his participation in a group that allegedly tried to illegally secure land rights in Romania. He was initially detained by Greek police in October. He was later released from custody but was detained again in January after a judicial panel ordered his extradition to Romania. He subsequently appealed this decision to the country's Supreme Court. Lastly, for the second year in a row, Greece is hosting MTech Europe, an important international conference on emerging technologies and their impact on all aspects of our lives. The conference, which is organized by MIT Technology Review and Greek newspaper Kathimerini, is taking place today and tomorrow at the Stavros Niarchos Foundation Culture Center in Athens. That was all for today. Tune in again tomorrow for the only English language news bulletin in the country, and ladies and gentlemen, have a good afternoon.